were you aware when you were designing the match of the polarized response you would get? And do you consider this to be AEW's RoboCop moment? Now, as a reminder, WCW had RoboCop. They were trying to promote the movie RoboCop, and they had RoboCop come out and save Sting at the end of a pay-per-view. And of course, that was a part of Turner Home Entertainment, and they're serving a couple of masters. We also know later in WCW, Chucky would be involved with a storyline with Rick Steiner. But this sort of thing has happened a lot over the years. I mean, hell, Mr. T was in the main event of the first WrestleMania, and it's like people just forget that that was a thing. Did you consider this a RoboCop type moment? And did you know as you're laying it out, boy, we're going to have a polarizing response from this?
I knew from the second, and I'm in business development, and I've heard about this integration, but you know, the powers that be with the network and the video game, they hadn't really come to decision like how he was going to go. And then me actually being in the match was a bit of surprise, but I knew from the minute I told that I was in it, A, I was super fired up, but B, without question, it's super polarizing, specifically to an AEW audience, specifically in 2023. And I also think that context is king, as EB says. The show on Wednesday night, those factors go into it as well. So yes, absolutely knew it was polarizing, because to deliver, how are you, if you really sit back and think through, let me just say that the folks that have made the hyper critical match, Conrad, help me with an answer on this. Do you think the people that are the most critical, would their vote be to do it in a different manner or just not to have it at all? Because if you're going to have an integration, there's elements. If you're promoting a video game, an iconic character like Leatherface, we don't want him wrestling. They didn't want him. Let me just say, they didn't want him wrestling. There were certain parameters that he had to go by. But yeah, I knew it'd be polarizing in so many ways, without question.
I'll be honest. I think we can do anything in the name of charity. If we say right out front, hey guys, coming up next, here's some silly shit, but it's all going to charity. Let's have fun. Yeah. But I think if you're trying to sit down, like imagine if you were a basketball purist. And by the way, have you been watching Winning Time on HBO this season?
Oh, I've got to watch it. The Laker deal?
It's out. 2 episodes are out, or as folks are listening to this, 3 episodes are out. It is so damn good. Anyway, if you're a hardcore basketball person, then you probably thumb your nose at the Harlem Globetrotters. But a lot of people love it, and a lot of people enjoy it. And there is a way to just have fun with basketball and it not be serious basketball. And I think that could be true here as well. I mean, think about how, a generation ago, what a big deal it was, the slam dunk contest on NBA All-Star Weekend. That's not a real game. That's just an exhibition, and it's silly and it's lighthearted, and it's not in the spirit of the game. It's just they used to have a skill set for quarterbacks and things like that, a skill challenge thing. I enjoyed all that stuff. It's okay to have fun with this stuff. It doesn't have to all be hard-nosed storytelling.
So I think you said something to the fact, is this going to be WCW RoboCop moment? And I see the analogy.
Yeah.
WCW, AEW. I was trying to think when I was finishing that answer with that. So I remember specifically the podcast we did after WrestleMania when Sami Zayn and Johnny Knoxville had that match. I said it when I watched it, and then for weeks after it. People that really know this industry get it. Those that maybe knocked it. Sami Zayn is super talented to be able to do what he did. He is a unquestionably one of the most talented guys, I believe, on their roster from top to bottom. You think about the role that he has played in the bloodline. I preferably like to think that when Sami was the most involved, I think we'll go down in history and look back and say, there's your peak of the bloodline. Those episodes when Sami was in and out and torn between and just all that kind of dynamic. And so when I look at the Texas Chainsaw Massacre death match being a RoboCop, I just think we're in a different generation. It's not for everybody, but it absolutely served its purpose. And now it's time for the Last Outlaw to go down another avenue, and Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy and the rock stars, they go down another avenue, and maybe we meet again or whatever it may be. But I think the world we live in that you topped on the top of the show I think I'd be willing to bet there's a lot of people that didn't watch the match that commented on Twitter about it. That's
Absolutely.
That's our
Yeah.
reality in 2023.